Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. It's Saturday, so another quick Saturday short. And this one's a good one. This one will be short, and it's a follow-up to last week's video. Last week's video was on screws, woodworking screws. And honestly, the question really had nothing to do with the screws here. The question was about these plastic containers that I'm using to store them in. What are they? Do I like them? Do I recommend them? And let's talk about them very quickly, because I like some of them. None of them are perfect, which is part of the problem. But these are all Harbor Freight plastic containers under the brand name or house name Storehouse. You can get these at Amazon as well if you go to Amazon and search Storehouse, but the prices are like triple what they are at Harbor Freight. So I would not recommend getting any of this stuff at Amazon. Get it at Harbor Freight. If you don't have a Harbor Freight, there are other brands out there that you can get at Amazon that are cheaper, close to this price. Stanley makes something that looks very close to this for a little bit more money. There is a brand from Germany, and I'll put the name up here because I'm forgetting the name right now, but they're really expensive, and they're the pro grade ones. You know, they're the equivalent of like the Festool Sustainer type things for screw and small parts holders. I don't have a need for something that large. If you have a need to put boxes in your truck, maybe you look at that brand. These things are very inexpensive. These boxes are $5.99 a piece. This one, which is about 2 inches deep and about 16 inches wide, is $9.99, and this one, which is twice the depth but basically the same dimensions otherwise, is $13.99. They also make one that's this depth, but it's, you know, it's basically just a little wider than the width of the handle, so it's about like this, and it only has these little small boxes, so it's really for small parts. I didn't have a use for that one, so I didn't buy it. But these I have a use for. You can see these things kind of stack. I think what I'll be doing is building a little cabinet to hold maybe 4 of these deep ones and about 6 of these small ones. That would cover everything I need: screws, hinges, latches, knobs, everything for woodworking would be covered in one of these cabinets about, you know, about that high. Something I could hang on the wall if I wanted, or put on the end of a bench. I do like these for carrying things around. So let me talk about what I like and not like about each size of the 3 sizes I have. And I'm going to tell you what one I'm going to end up on. As you can see, in the video I used one of these, and we'll put this one out of the way. And this is the one that I actually filled up with my screws. And it works very well for that. I have my screws in here, and I've added the nails that I use in here. So it's a very good container for all of my fasteners. And my goal was to use this, close it up, and just slide it under this bench in a shelf down here. And it works perfectly for that, and I could use this for years like that. What I don't like about this one is, as you can see, it has the handle and it holds, but this lid, I don't know how to put it, guys. The lid is very flexible material, as you can see here. I am worried with the amount of screws I have in here. If I just casually start walking around with this like this, that lid is going to bow and screws are going to start falling out. God forbid it popped open and I had 2,000 screws land on the ground somewhere. Now, I'm not going to travel with this thing, so it's not really an issue for me. But I do have to say, I don't think any of these are really, I don't think any of them are really built to be thrown in the back of the truck and go into job sites. I think these are more built to be in the shop, on a shelf, open it up, grab your screw, go do your job. That's what I think these are for. And this large size one holds a lot of screws. This one might end up being the better screw and nail holder, because, you know, I have 1,000 of these number 8 1 1/4. I don't need a tray this big for those. Honestly, I could get away with these trays for screws, and The small screws I don't use a lot could go in these smaller bins. These bins are good enough to put a box of 50 screws in. These little guys here, to me, are just, you know, unless you have like screws under an inch long and you get a box of 50 of them, that's about all these are good for. And that's the main reason I didn't get the narrower box, because the narrower box was mostly these. And I just don't have much use for these little holders. Now, I think this is the ideal size for screws and nails. I honestly believe you have 8 of these big ones here, and you can get all of your screws. You know, I use 4 screw sizes, and I could put a box of 100 in each of these 4, and then I could put a box of 100 of the 4 nails I use here, and then just put whatnots and odds and ends in the other ones, you know, small pieces. So this box would work for me. Because I have the bigger one, I'm going to keep the things in the bigger one. If I were to be using this to move it, even if it was just going up and down the stairs to my basement shop, I would go to this one, because I trust this one closing much better. It's the same lid, but it's going to have half the weight in it, so I trust the less weight to keep the lid secure. And there is a third snap there, by the way. So that's these two. And then there's this box here. And these boxes actually, these all stack. So that's what's cool about those. You can stack them. These, I think, are more of an ideal size if you were going to carry things around. This is the same flexible lid. Again, guys, these are not high quality. These are not, these are not, you know, your Milwaukee pack-out stuff. You know, those new, you know, Milwaukee has one, DeWalt has one, Rigid has them. They have this, you know, the Festool sustainers. All these pack-out systems, a lot of them have something like this that snaps into the top of it now. They are made much more rigid than these things. These are not that. These things really, to me, are not meant to go in the truck and travel a lot. Could you do it occasionally? Yeah, absolutely. Are you going to throw these in the back of the truck on a daily basis going to job sites? They're not going to last. I just don't think they're going to last. If you are going to travel, like I said, I don't recommend these things to travel in the truck all the time. I recommend this thing. I really like this. This has 6 pockets inside of it, big enough to hold nails and screws. It's made by Bucket Boss. I'll put the link below. This thing is awesome. It has a good cinch thing to it, and I literally throw this in the back of the truck. It hasn't given out of me throwing it around, and obviously there's a bunch of little sharp points in there from screws and nails, and it's made out of a good thick canvas, and it holds up well. So if you want to travel in your truck, fill one of these up. Leave these in the shop. So the difference between these boxes and these boxes is pretty obvious. With these boxes, you have fixed little bins that you can pick up, take to your site, grab the screw, run it in, do what you're going to do, put the little bin back. This box, you have to take the whole box to the project if you're not working at the bench, because you know, you don't have little cups to take out. What you have is these little inserts that can go into these little sliders at different gaps throughout here. Now these are all perfectly spaced, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 nicely spaced bins. But if you want a bigger one, you take one out, you got a bigger one. You want these small ones here, you can see you make small ones by making them tighter. In theory that works great, but unfortunately the problem we have is for screws, the little screws will work their way underneath these things and rise it up. And because of that, the darn screws make it so you can't close the lid. You can see here, I can't close this lid now because this one here and this one here are up because there's screws under it. And it's a pain to get those screws out when they're, when they're underneath there and the bins are full. So that's a problem with this. My workaround for this, if I was going to use this box, would be to get it designed the way I want it and crazy glue these things down so the screws can't get under them. And then it's actually a pretty good box, and it's the cheapest of the lot. So if you like the lunchbox style, you're good here. If you like more the briefcase style, go with these guys. And these do give you the option of pulling one cup out and going with them. Another good benefit to these, like I said, I'm going to build a little cabinet to put these in, but one of these, you know, very easily could fit in a drawer. You could open a drawer, take this out, and go like that as well. So there are options with these. Like I said, mine is going right here under the bench. Okay guys, so that's my take on these things. I honestly think they're pretty good for the price. Like I said, if they were higher priced, I'd go with a better brand, but at this price, they do what I need them to do. Your mileage is going to vary there. I decided to go with the bigger one, even though the weight scares me because I'm only going to be moving it this little bit. If you're going to move yours further, this is probably the case for you to go with, because this will hold a lot of screws and it's less weight, you know, because it doesn't hold as many as this one, but it holds enough for a day's work. So I hope you like this, guys. If you did, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Have a good day. We'll see you in the next one.